So, ladies and gentlemen, here we are in my studio. There's Mr. Tony Blues. And cheers for that, Tony.
Sorry, mate.
And here I am. Not very good at doing selfies on a video camera. And we're going to be doing some recording today, with a bit of luck.
Maybe.
Now, my music room, as you can see, is not the tidiest place in the world. Which is bad, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, bad. But it has to double as my computer repair workshop as well. And it does feature some quite nice guitars and amplifiers. There's like Tony, get your legs out of the way. There's my new Marshall, my old Marshall, and that's my Les Paul 1960s Tribute Plus.
Yes.
My Ibanez AEG 24-2, and there's some more guitars and stuff over there, and a cupboard full of junk and more guitars, surprisingly enough. And yes, this is where the magic happens, and I'm going to be doing some videoing today just to show how it's done. Well, how I do it anyway. So I hope you enjoy. So here we are again, ladies and gentlemen. Tony's just practiced. That's Mr. Tony Blues, or Tiny Blues as we like to call him.
Predictive text is an evil creature. That's
yes.
what I'm going to say.
Okay. So when we're recording, or when I'm recording, I should say, really, here's my recording computer with the case, you know, just loosely balanced there because I'm kind of messy.
That's how you roll.
I use Cubase. This is SX. Well, Cubase 5. And Easy Drummer, which I recently discovered, which we really like. So that's cool, because neither of us are drummers. No. So we try and make it as easy as possible. I use Sapphire Scarlet 214 or whatever it's called. 212, sorry. Audio interface, USB. And I do most of my recording through an Audio-Technica C1000S microphone. That's
the Mrs.
Mrs. G. Just coming in the door.
Sorry.
That's all right.
That's how you keep Janine out of the room when you're recording.
So sorry about that. We're just breaking there for a moment. So as I was saying, an Audio-Technica C1000S. And I use this pretty much for everything. So because I don't have a dedicated vocal mic, this has to do. And I hang it like this, and Tony's going to sing underneath it. If you could show us how you'll be doing that.
Like so.
Because I don't have a pop shield, and I never even got round to making my own. If you sing underneath it, then you tend to avoid loud plosives, as they're called. Or the popping noise, the p sound. And I think we get a pretty decent vocal sound. Some engineers would argue that we don't because we're not singing directly into the microphone, but it sounds pretty good to me, and at the end of the day, that's what matters. I also use that mic for miking up the Marshall, usually slightly off-center, but we'll maybe do some more of that later. So we're going to record some vocals now for a song called Fannie Mae.
Oh, yes.
No idea. Do you know who it was originally by, Tony?
Oh, God.
It was by God.
Yes, it was by God. It was handed down by God to bluesmen everywhere.
Okay.
Because everyone's pretty much covered it, so
okay.
I haven't got a damn clue.
You're particularly fond of the Coco Montoya version, I am.
I do very much like the Coco Montoya version, yes.
Yeah. So we've sped it up a bit from most of the versions, 120 BPMs. And
giving it a bit more oomph.
Yeah, so I've rocked up the rhythm guitar, which we've done already, and the bass and the drums. So we're going to do the vocals next, and then I can do the lead guitar after that, and we can decide if it needs any backing vocals, but I don't think it will.
Yeah.
No?
We'll find out, won't we?
Yeah. So we're going to do that, and then we'll be back to you. I don't think there's any need for that, Tony.
What are you giggling for?
I don't know, you saying and action.
Well, that's because I'm a professional.
Can I have my tuner, please?
Tuna? Hey, Tuna.
Me and Tony hate tuna, as in the fish.
We do not like tuna.
We're both vehemently against tuner.
We are. I'm either missing your head or your guitar, one of the two, and I don't like it.
Well, I'm going to move back a bit in a minute.
Well,
and nobody wants to look at my head, to be honest. It's all about the guitar, Tony.
I'm going to zoom in a minute for.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we've finished doing the vocals. Well done, Tony.
Cheers, bud.
Only took 2 takes.
Yeah, well.
Compared to my normal. I think the bass took like 28 takes or something.
Well, neither of us are bassists either,
Well,
so that's not so bad.
So all we've got left on this track to finish is the lead guitar.
Yes.
And I'm gonna, after I was umming and ahhing about whether to use Tallulah, which is my Strat there.
It's a good girl.
Or this is Aria, one of my Les Pauls. And last time we were working on this song, which was a few days ago, I was going to go with a Strat, but in hindsight, I decided to go with the Les Paul. We used this for the rhythm guitar, and I've changed the setting slightly on the Marshall. I've got it on the gain channel.
Now have mic'd up.
And on, but not with the gain boosted. Anybody who owns a Marshall that's been built in the last sort of 10 years, apart from the very top of the range, they tend to have a boost button which gives you a much more saturated distortion. I didn't want that. I'm also rolling back the tone a wee bit and also the volume. Gonna play using the bridge pickup, give this kind of sound. And
nice.
as I say, rolling off the volume just a little bit, just to bring back the gain a wee bit on the amp. But rather than turning it down on the amp, I like to do it there. You get a different kind of tone. So just different ways of doing things. So because we're using a mic, obviously we don't want the rest of the track, the drums and the bass, to come through the speakers. So turn that off on the sound card. I've got my headphones here. These aren't studio reference headphones, they're my DJ headphones because I work as a DJ as well. But they allow me to hear what's going on. That's all I need really. And that's it. So we're going to try and record little bits of lead guitar throughout and a biggish solo, and hopefully that will go well. And then we'll be back.
Job done.
So
stop laughing when I say action.
Well, you do say it in quite a funny way, Tony, to be honest.
Well.
So we finished Fannie Mae.
Yeah.
It took me a few takes to get the lead guitar, but we got there in the end, didn't we?
We did.
We were pretty pleased with it, so that was good. And we're just about to start on something new, which we haven't got anything ready for it yet, and it's a kind of medley of 2 songs that Tony wanted to do, and they are, Tony?
Yes, they are classic blues numbers. They are When the Sun Goes Down
by Leroy
Cart and Scrapper Blackwell, and you've got the Mr. Robert Johnson. Of course, you can't do blues without including Mr. Robert Johnson. Love in Vain. They're both exactly the same tune, essentially, just different. Like most blues stuff, isn't it? Really?
Yeah.
A lot of, well, back in the day, anyway.
Yeah.
I've just found out. I thought Love in Vain was the original, and it turns out that When the Sun Goes Down is actually the original. So you know, you learn something new every day.
I decided in my infinite wisdom that we wanted to slow this tune down from the original.
Might I add that it was my idea to do them and as a medley and speed them up, and hence why I put them both together to make the song longer. Tell them how long the song is now, G.
So, well, you take the camera.
I shall. I'll take the camera.
So now, because we've slowed it down and put a couple of solos in, the track is now 10 minutes and 16 seconds.
Bearing in mind, it was also my idea to have 2 solos in. G did add an extra solo to make one of the solos twice as long. However, yes, that's understandable. I always expect that when it comes to you. I get that.
So anyway, but slowing it down has meant that Tony's struggling a little bit to get his timing right.
The right arse with it, I did.
And he did. He got a bit narky. So we're just doing a very rough mix down of just the bass, drums, and rhythm guitar, so he can take it away and have a listen to it. And also,
get the arse with it in private, as opposed to with you mean?
In front of me.
Yeah.
So, but we've had quite a constructive day, really, haven't we?
We've almost finished one song. I've got to take Fannie Mae away. That's pretty much done now. I just need to take that away and practice a bit of harmonica to go with it.
Yeah.
And then record it once I've bought a new one, because the harmonica that G has very kindly loaned me is about 50 years old and has got about 6 blown out reeds on it.
That is very true. So, what can you do?
Spend 34 quid on another one.
Yeah, well, there is that, of course. Yeah. So, I just wanted to give our audience a pan of the room. So, you thought it was messy before, but now, after a recording session, there's guitars, drinks, phones, batteries, boxes.
It's everywhere.
Chairs, cables. I tell you one thing though, and you should focus in on this. I'm totally anal about my plectrums. Look at this.
Oh
so
yeah.
Here we have plectrums in size order.
In size order.
So I pretty much exclusively use Dunlop nylon standards. USA nylon standards. So we got 60s, 73s. I use those for acoustic, and 88s, which I tend to use for rock, and 1 mil, which I tend to use for blues, and then just a spare bit in the end for any odd ones, including a valve, a tongue sole.
Yeah, put it up today. Put it up.
There it is.
Nice little valve there.
Yeah. Some guitar grease, a finger pick which I've had since the year dot, a pebble, because no plectrum case should be without a pebble.
Right. Okay. Now the world knows.
I'm very, I keep them very tidy, so that's about the only thing I do keep tidy.
Despite keeping small rocks in there as well.
Yes. Well, as I just said, you got to have small rocks in there.
Oh yeah.
Or at least one.
Apparently.
Haven't you?
Well,
I don't know.
Now, yes.
So, thank you for joining us. I'm sure I will never ever put any of this up on YouTube, but you never know.
Bye.
Bye. See you.